All right, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, testing. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Omega Given here. I think we're live sitting right now. I'm just double checking on my phone because I just need to double check if my audio sounds okay, workable, that kind of stuff. Oh, well, give me 1 second while I check on my phone what the audio is all like and such. I think we're fully live right now. Yeah, we're fully live. Why is I don't know why our one thing is being all weird. Oh, I guess this is technically private right now, huh? Let me turn this public. Done. Save. All right. I think we're now public. Let's see how fast of a switch that is. Here we are. Coding rewrite 2. It's not showing up on my thing though. All right. Let's see. Feel like whenever people do ever watch, if somebody ever watches these live streams after the fact, I feel like you gotta skip like a solid like 5 minutes in for it to like actually take effect and like be what you want it to be. Else it don't work. I really wish I could schedule my live streams, but just can't make that happen with my schedule of how stuff goes. So wow, you know what? My audio is pretty good for like the fact that like my mic is now down here out of the way. It's like this thing. I'm like kind of just putting it out of the way and like I just like rely that it's working as it is. I have like a weird habit of like adjusting it to like my mouth and I really don't need it to be there. So I just like gotta throw it away and put it over that way. And just not touch it. All right. We last time didn't get too far in our project here. Can I yeah, so last time we did this one. This thing make it so we have hidden shortcuts are hidden from the 404 view. Actually, let me double check and see if I I can't remember if I put my actual hidden shortcuts I don't want to be seen. No, I did not. Excellent. So that means I can show you guys. So basically, we made it so this file is hidden from the 404 view, aka whenever I do go slash and then like whatever, it won't show up there. Also, on run.sh. Wait, do I have to do like a dot or dot run.sh? Yeah, I think that's what I gotta do to make this thing work. All right, this should be running now. So if I do that, yep, there we go. We got the 404 page. So this is like all my whatever stuff, but it doesn't show the hidden stuff, which is good. We have our notes page, which is pretty solid, and we have this, which we have not quite built out yet. I'll do that at work, though. We're not going to do that on a live stream. That's something that I'm just doing on the side. All right, so today what we want to do is we wanted to add a button, probably right here, that's like add a shortcut. So we want to add a shortcut to be viewable, and with that we can be able to understand like what's going on a little better, maybe stuff like that, actually, on that note, let me double check where's my I have like 3 USB-C cords just hanging out of my computer, just doing their thing. So yeah, I was gonna set my phone right over there because sometimes it's good to have a phone just doing a thing. um, and yeah, let me double check, is there anything else to have out and available? I don't know. Well, we also have secondary computer out, maybe. Just have that. I have my work computer here. Sometimes it's good to have that open in case something ever pops in. Give me a second, guys. How's everybody day doing? Everyone enjoy their Thanksgiving? I hope you all enjoy your Thanksgiving. My Thanksgiving was awesome. Had a friend over. It was our first Thanksgiving away from families, basically. It was a delicious food we made. I love it when only 2 people cooking a whole Thanksgiving meal. Lost up. All right, excellent. All right. Yeah, we have our live stream open and available. All right. So let's get into this, guys. We're gonna use AI because I understand a little bit of the structure that I've already built out, but I feel like it's gonna get more complicated. I might need to structure this a little bit better. I know we had somebody in my last live stream kind of like wondering how my structure is built, or how do you structure coding, and sometimes you got to figure out that structure for yourself. Um, so like for this, there was I'm like almost thinking about creating a third shortcut thing. So we got hidden shortcuts, and then we want like even more like work shortcuts, stuff like that, so I can like really keep like even more separation of stuff. But I don't know. So let me look here. So we don't need this for a bit. We'll bring that back later. But let's look at our code. What we're trying to do here. Basically, okay. What does this do? Actually, I don't even know what this does. What does this do? This is, I think, an importer. Use ATX files. Here, let's ask Gemini what this does. I have no idea. Oh, sometimes my keyboard does that. What does this do in Rust? Here, I'll pull over my Gemini right here so you guys can see what I'm learning and stuff. On the side here, so this is Rust Global. It contains a series of use statements that import necessary components, blah, 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 macros from. Okay, so basically, well, I'm really wanting the syntax of all this. Because you see this ATX files, and then colon, files, semicolon, u, colon. Like, what does the colon equal? That's what I'm, like, kind of wondering. These lines create or import from creates that need to be declared as dependencies in your whatever stuff. Cargo.toml, which cargo.toml is basically our dependencies of how many dependencies we have. I'd like to keep this dependency list pretty low if possible. I've already used whatever these are. I have no idea what that is, to be honest. So that's something that's not that good. Yeah, I don't know what half these things are. Apparently we have a random thing here. Encryption, randomness. Oh, I see. Yeah, because we try to make some encryption for our SQL stuff, so we wanted some encryption in that. So that's probably what that is. All right. But and then we have all our services. This is where we're linking all of our different things. We have the note get, note post page, which is found in here. We got the note get, note post, the getter and the poster. And then the page itself, that's rendering, where we render that page, which yeah. And then we binding it to our base port of our computer. Okay, so what I need to do is, let's go to our README really quick. So our README, we want to build. This is build instructions. This is our usage. We want notes. I think what we want to do, so right now, if we do go / blah blah blah, this 404 page, we have this chunk here. It's basically a navigation bar, if you call it. I kind of, for one, I want to get rid of this tools. We don't need, like, let's just simplify this a little bit. So let's go to our 404 page, not found page. I'm gonna get rid of some of the stuff here. We do not need this tool header. I want to get rid of the tool header. We do want these buttons. So I think what we want to do is, I think I want to separate out that navigation chunk and put that at the top of our page for all the apps that you can click on. I think that's what we want to do. So like just putting these up top basically, so it's like a little navigation menu. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna copy this over and be like, or actually no, let's write out what we want to do. So let's do like a star elements, elements to build. So we got elements. We're gonna have basically a navigation bar. Navigation bar, what does it do? Navigation bar has okay, has buttons to take us to the various tools that we will be building. All right, so that's what the elements are. Wait, what's this? In browser, type localhost or whatever alias you might use for localhost / alias. I'm just typing any short to C, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's do this. I'm making an app. Here is the highlights that I will write of what it does and what I need help with. All right. What's up, man? How are you doing this, Sailor-chan? Nice to have you back. All right, so we're gonna do that. So that will be like the highlights of that. We're going to, whoops. We want to, this is to build. We're gonna do this build right here. We're gonna do we want a navigation bar. And then we want this. This is not navigation bar. Take the HTML you use in not found. Oops, what's happening? Not what the frick? Oh, I accidentally clicked on the wrong. Not found dot rs. All right, so we're gonna put not found dot rs. This is, we'll give this all the not found dot rs stuff, and then we'll do main. This is our main dot rs. I almost need to like do a file structure kind of thing where I tell the AI what our file structure is. Can you help me build the navigation bar so that it will be used across all our spaces. This is kind of like a practice for just typing in general. All of our pages, our pages. All right, let's see how Gemini does. I know last time we kind of resorted back to Copilot because Copilot was doing a lot better than Gemini, but we'll see how this goes. Let's see if this is even better than what we want and stuff like that. Yeah. All right. All right, look at this. Look at this. We got the refactored. All right. It looks like it put the refactor in, or the navigation bar here. Can we put the nav bar in its own file? Then give me all the refactored code so I can apply throughout. All right, let's see. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a new file here. It's gonna probably tell us to do like navigation or something like that, navigation.rs. Oh, it literally nav.rs, yeah. So we're gonna do nav.rs. Nav.rs is going to have, okay, that's a great idea for keeping your code organized, moving utility functions like navigation oriented module. Yeah, I've created. Actually, Sailor-chan, you're the one that were asking about organization of code and stuff like that yesterday, right? Well, this is how you do it. You basically got to think about how you want to do stuff. So it's like I want navigation to be separate, so that should be its own file, and like it's just going from there, kind of just like being like in all reality, you actually I probably should make a folder called elements and then put nav in the elements folder. That's probably what I should do. But we're gonna just start basic for now. I'm guessing this is all we need. It's that function, and we import that function into our stuff. Just the function to generate the common navigation HTML. So src slash not found.rs updated the blah blah blah. Or I removed the blah blah function from the file and added its use statement to the blah blah blah. Wait, does this have like multiple files I can see? I don't see the one file. How does Gemini work with this? Is navigation in here? Wait, this is main.rs. This is the not found. Wait, does Gemini keep an ongoing version of this code? That's actually kind of genius. So they basically have like these files in the back end that you do, right? So we got the render base page, render shortcuts table, group shortcuts table. And yeah, it's maintaining like a solid look of like everything together in like these previous pages. I just have to scroll up and like open it and then copy paste all of this. That's kind of cool. Maybe I'll get used to Gemini if that's the case, because that way it actually can store the context of what everything is. All right, so we're going to refactor this real quick. I'm gonna save that one. Where's the main page? This is main. We're gonna refactor main, give it do whatever it wants. So basically main page is now gonna get index, note, SQL stuff. How is it knowing the not found page? I'm guessing that's the SQL stuff. This is the server builder. I'm wondering how it's navigating. All right, I think we'll keep this. Let's re-render or recompile. Type my password on. Yeah. All right, that worked right out of the gate. Oh, whoops. Go slap. Blah blah blah. There we go. Look at that. We got the home bar. Welcome. Available shortcuts. We got the SQL. We got the notes. So now we just have to have this element populate throughout all these other ones. How long have I been coding for? Are you talking about today or are you talking about in general? I've been coding for how long? I've been in the industry 4 years. Went to college for 4 years, so I was coded from the beginning of college, so that's 8 years there. And then I touched modded code, not really built my own code for like a couple years in high school. I think that's the extent of, I would say. So 10 years, I guess. Actually, wait, let me wait. If I do go slash blah blah blah, it takes me to this page. 404 shortcut not found. Welcome available shortcuts. Type a short key into the URL. Example /gh go directly to that destination. I love it how that's not a shortcut of mine. So AI like just threw that in there just because it's like maybe you have that as a shortcut. That's not a bad shortcut. I will say that. Should we add that shortcut? Let's add that shortcut, guys. Excuse me. All right, so let's add that shortcut real quick, huh? There we go. We got 3 shortcuts. You can either type Git, you can either type GitHub, or you can type just GH and it'll take you to GitHub. That's basically all that does. All right, cool. We got that. All right. Here is my note page. I'm gonna have it. I want to see how this formats the stuff. Excellent. I'm gonna add it to my note page. So now it knows my note.rs page. So we should get a little bit of feedback from that to get our note page going. Oh man, I'm basically out of water. Darn. All right, note page module. How's it doing it? It's basically we're importing the base page. Ooh, I don't want base page to be in the not found page. That's just not a good. Save notes, blah blah blah. No. Here, I'll steal this, but I'm gonna ask it to like reformat this a bit because I don't want this to be formatted like that necessarily. All right, let's re-render. All right, it's running. Let's see how this goes, eh? All right, we got our GitHub there now. It's still there. This doesn't have that page though. The SQL Manager doesn't. But that's okay. So that's good. I don't like that the base page is in this file. Can we split off the base page function to the nav.rs and let's rename the nav.rs to base page.rs so that can store universal elements. Let's do that. I think that'll be a little better organization where we have all of our main stuff, all of the main thing that'll be rendered on almost every page in one page. That way we can kind of go about that. So we're going to rename this thing to be a base page. We'll have to change all the imports, or it'll hopefully be able to do that. So we're going to rename that to blah, 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 move the base render page function from blah, blah, blah into blah, blah, blah. Update the module declaration in main.rs, update all necessary use imports in the main not found in notes. Yes. It knew exactly what we're doing. I'm digging Gemini. Gemini is doing good. It knows what it's doing. And then I think it goes and updates all of these, right? I think it does. What's the time? The 15 after? Yeah, I think it edited these, so I think we can just literally copy and paste these in here. Like that's freaking, oh my gosh. Gemini, I think Gemini just stole my heart as like my most favorite AI to use now. We don't want that page. This is version 3 refactor of the not found page. So this should make the not found page a lot less. How many lines do we have here? We have 106. So now it should be, yep, there we go, 85. So that removed a bunch of lines. And then we want to, this will probably add some code to our main page because it's a little bit more import. So this should actually be more. Yeah, it's like one line, one import more, right? That's all we have to do. Okay, so we saved all that. Let's just confirm that this compile, or this can compile still. Make sure there's no glaring issues. No glaring issues. Oh my gosh, this is good. This is good. So if we do go / blah blah blah, it'll take us to the no shortcut found. We can go to the home page, which is basically the same thing as that no shortcut page. Is it over here when you mistype any shortcut? Type a shortcut. Let's get rid of this. I don't think we need this text. Let's just make things look cleaner. Where's the not found page? render. Yeah, I can probably shrink this up a bit, give you guys a little bit more room to see what's going on over here. Is that on the base page that we're rendering that? That like this little thing? Where is this being wrote? Wrote? I don't know. It's not here, is it? This list is available here. Yeah, there it is. All right, it's on the main dot. Okay. Yeah, let's get rid of that line. Wait, that was just a, yeah, that was just a, okay, we can get rid of that. I like to keep things clean and simple. Okay, I'm almost tempted to like get rid of this. Yeah, let's get rid of that welcome. I don't think that we don't need that. I like clean, understandable things. So that's just what I like. All right. Let's re-render that. Look at that. Nice, clean, crisp. It does not need fancy stuff. Just needs to work. All right. So we got that to be pretty nice and clean. Let me look at our workboard. So we want to add a calculator page, but I want to add this right here. Add a adder button to make new shortcuts and saves to files and continue running. So basically I want to make it so on the fly, we can like, maybe there's a button like right here that you can click and to be like add shortcut and be like, which file do you want to send it to? The hidden file, the normal shortcut file, or a new file? And then what's the key and what's the URL, that kind of thing. So let's do that. So Google Gemini. Oh. We might need to give Gemini a little bit more space. Okay. This looks great. Now I want to add a new button to the home page slash not found page that when pressed brings up a floating form that we can enter a new shortcut, and it's associated. So a shortcut and it's associated HTML or URL, and it will add it to our existing shortcuts. Oh yeah, so enter a new shortcut and is associated with URL and whether you want it to be and a selectable to be hidden or not to determine which shortcuts.json it adds it to, and it will add it to the existing shortcuts. All right, let's see how good Gemini can accomplish this task. When I gave Copilot this task, it just failed horribly. It was really bad. Ooh. Like this is a big ask. So I'm kind of wondering if this will work. because I can see a few very big complications with this task. Um, since we are compiling, so like the page is rendered at compile time, adding a new URL would almost want us to re-trigger our compile because it won't grab in the new shortcut. Like if I add a new shortcut to one of my shortcuts.json file, it won't actually add it until I recompile. So this is going to almost make us change the whole way in that this program pulls its shortcuts, which is fine because I do want this to end up being a package that you install on like a Linux system, maybe even a Windows or Mac system. We'll have to do Mac system because I do want it working on a Mac system for work. But like it will need to pull a config file, and that config file will be those JSONs. So like it needs to reference those JSONs outside of itself, basically. So I will need to restructure it to do that. Which it might do right now. Like that's the complication that I think it might try to do. It might fail at it. We'll see, but that's the complication. Speaking of which, here I'm gonna put this to another screen while it does its thing. We're going to add a couple of issues, tasks, whatever you want to call them. So we have calculators. This is what we're trying to work on today. The adder button to make new shortcuts. We might need to do the great refactor because I don't know exactly the organization I want this whole project to be in, but at some point I think I'm going to refactor a lot of it to be like elements, and in the elements you have a lot of reusable things they can use on any page, like we have the base page right now. Or we might just make the base page the page where all the elements are stored, so it'd be a pretty long running script. So once we have this button, that'll make it so we can add more shortcuts on the fly without having to recompile. We have a decent notes page. I'm kind of wondering what are the benefits of my note page versus like say so what my notes page does here. I need like a random JSON generator tool. Here, I want to like get this JSON to be horribly formatted. Actually, what does generate do? How do you format this horribly? Compact. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna take this JSON. I want to show you guys what my notes page can do, and it auto formats. Look at that. See, it auto formats. So that's the cool thing about my app that I built is this notes page auto formats JSONs, which is a huge part of my job. So that's why I needed that basically. So I don't need this JSON thingamajig that these guys do. So I can just like do it on my own. But I want to see, is there any other features of Notepad that are good? Notepad. Online Notepad. I'm kind of wondering. We got new document, save, print, copy. Ooh, we don't need copy paste. Those are all written in. Find and replace. Font family, font sizes. I kind of want my Notepad to just be README based. I think, yeah, let's do note page has a render MD function. I feel like that's something that I would always want because sometimes I'm like trying to render a README to make it look nice for like say my GitHub project or something like that, and it doesn't work because I can't preview it until I push it back up to GitHub. But I'd like to see it live so I could copy and paste into my Notes app and just see what it looks like. So it'd just be like my own personal README render function, like the MD render function. So I think that's something that we want to add as a feature to this whole thing, this whole setup. Saved notes. What does saved notes look like right now? If I save, I wonder if we should add like a subject line to notes so that when we click on the saved notes, it brings it back and it'll automatically save off what is current on your notes app if there is anything. Let's do that. That'll be another thing. Add a subject line to the notes page where that subject line will show up in the saved notes section, and when clicked, it will save off what we currently have and pull in all the saved note we clicked on. There we go. So I'm gonna just like copy all this, put this in the description, and then I'll cut out like this whole part there. All right, I think that's a feature we want in this. These seem all doable. I wonder if Gemini's having a hard time here. Stop response. Hey, Gemini. Yeah, Gemini's having a hard time with this. I'm gonna save this off. This is just something I want to do, so I'm gonna put this in the my README really quick. Yeah. All right. I wonder if I need to refactor Gemini to be able to take all this in. It's kind of being a pain right now. Oh, Gemini, why are you taking forever? Why are you taking forever? I know that task was pretty. That was a pretty hard task. I wonder if it's frozen out. Let's create a new chat. I want to add a new button. Okay, let's do this. I want to add a new button. Blah blah blah. We're gonna do note. Wait, what is this? Let's do not found.rs. We'll give it all not found.rs. Then we need main.rs because it's going to need that to be able to understand what's going on there. It's going to need base page.rs. Hopefully we have enough context left to add app state.rs. I didn't add that state before. I wonder if that's probably going to be it's going to probably be something it needs to understand to see. Copy all of that because you can see it's still trying to do some previous response. Here, let me like refresh this completely. Hello, Omega. Thank you. All right, let's see how it does. Analyzing the interface. We'll see how this does. All right, Gemini, show me what you're worth. What are you worth, Gemini? We got a lot of people popping in and out of our live stream here for coding. It's kind of interesting. I'm the YouTube vibe coder right now. living the little YouTube vibe code life. It requires a change in a few places. Refactor app state to add new shortcuts at runtime. And these shortcut maps must be wrapped in a mutex to allow for safe shared mutation, just like notes already is. Update main.rs and not.found all code that reads from the shortcuts. Wait, is this not gonna do what it was doing before? I really liked what it was doing before. Wait, 1 second, let me. Oh no, it's not gonna do what it was doing before. I loved the feature that it was doing before where it like kind of added them in as if they were like a function or whatever, or a thing that you can copy and whatnot. So this is app state.modified. So we're going to modify the app state. We don't need these comments here. We're going to modify the not found page. This is where I think the app is going to probably break. All right. This is the base page that we're rendering. Inject CSS, inject usable navbar, inject model, HTML, inject J. Interesting. Oh wow, this is doing whole spiel. Oh boy, we're gonna need to correct this a bit. I'm curious to see what it looks like though. So we're gonna go with the flow and see how it goes. Errors. All right, that's what I was expecting. This is like a very complicated thing. SDQ Wiz, hi man, would you recommend learning Rust for game development or stick with no languages like C, C++, or embedded languages like Lua? Rust for game development? Like, you gotta be joking. Like, who programs in Rust for game development? I would not recommend that, but feel free to try that. If you're developing a game, you got to think of what kind of game you're developing and then use the tools to best accomplish that task. I really wouldn't recommend programming in a language for game development. What I would do is I'd program in an engine which has languages in it. So what I would do is if I were you and you were programming a game, is I would be like, what kind of game do I want and what engine best accomplishes that? Do I want a realistic looking game that looks like takes advantage of assets and how they work and function? Maybe I'd recommend Unreal Engine. Do I want a very standardized game from the early 2020s? Then I'd go with Unity. Or do I want to try the more open source free way of doing things that a lot of people have been shifting to, which is Godot? I personally recommend Godot because I used it and I liked it. It was very much Godot has its own GD script, that's what it's called. GD script is basically Python, so it's super easy to program in. But yeah, if you're going to be programming a game straight up code where you're not actually using an engine to render your visuals, you're in for a long ride. It's going to take you forever to make that game. Unless you just have that much time and you're that much genius. But if you're asking that question, then I'm pretty sure you're probably beginner-ish on that front. So I would recommend going to game engines first. So I would I'd say go literally try them all. I went through a phase a couple years ago where I literally tried Unreal Engine, then I went and tried Unity, then I went and tried Godot. I sat and loved Godot. Unity, I feel like things broke all the time. I got tons of errors, even though the game worked, even though there's like lots of errors, which just bugged me. Unreal Engine went way over my head. I just did not know what I was doing there. So that's why I landed on Godot. Godot is very simple, very clean, easy to follow. So that's my recommendation for you. I need to solve this issue here. We got to. Where is this? All right, we're gonna copy, paste. Okay. I have like a weird copy paste system, so that's why I have to like do the whole right click copy paste because like it does like weird stuff. Because I have 3 different clipboards on my computer because I'm on Arch Linux and I have not unified all of my clipboard stuff. So sometimes I highlight and I can middle mouse click. Sometimes I have to highlight Control C, Control V. Sometimes I highlight Control C, middle mouse click. I don't know. It's like it just does a lot of stuff. He has 2 small issues. The error in Rust, you use blah 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 semicolon to access items within a module, not a period. The period is oh. You're right, Aaron. Okay, I don't know what that's doing. So this is the corrected main function. What is Gemini doing? Why is Gemini not doing what I was thinking of doing before? It was kind of weird. Why Gemini's kind of doing this method, like the standard method. I liked the before thing. Now I've made more errors. Gosh darn this. A static with a similar name exists. No, really? Yeah, the file exists. Cannot find a hidden shortcut file in this scope. 127. Hidden shortcut file is hidden shortcut.json. Notes.json. Wait, what? Why is this not working? Oh, CB, who's the whatever branch name? Just wanted to know whether there are any alternatives and that the world of game dev doesn't just run on C. Um, I wouldn't like. I understand like the logic you're going by because I always thought like if I'm gonna learn game development, why don't I just learn C, like the most efficient language to like build a game in? But then I realized that like you're dealing with engines. Like it's a lot of game engines are built on C. So, for example, Godot, it has its GD script, right? But you can actually program Godot, like a full game in Godot, using C. They actually have an extension for that, so you can actually program the whole thing in C, and that you're using the game engine to be able to pull all the renderings together. Um, I believe Unreal Engine on the back end is using C++. Somebody fact check me on that. But yeah, Unreal Engine uses C in the back end. Unity uses C sharp, I believe. So like, which is completely different than C and C++. But like, you got to realize that these are basically frameworks, loosely using that word, frameworks that like you basically are using to make your life easier. So yes, you can ultimately just go and program in C and try to make a game. But Game Engine, what it really does is it makes it so you can use assets, render those assets on a plane or a environment much easier, and pulling all your stuff together with ticks and settings and blah blah blah. That's what game engines do for you. So really, if you're still in the bucket of what to even start learning, just learn a language. Build something small in whatever language you want to learn, and build. Just start coding. That's what I say. You're not gonna like literally. I don't know how to program in Rust. Like I have this thing. I don't know how to program in Rust, but I'm building this thing in Rust and learning along the way of being like, oh, apparently a double colon is basically use from this page, import this. That's basically what this is to me. Like that's my understanding because I know Python, so I'm like, oh, this is literally the same as from blah blah blah, import this. That's basically what this is. So I'm learning along the way as I try to learn a new language. So that's how you kind of go about it. first you have to learn one language, like get that language down, learn the syntax of it, and then once you get that down, you can start looking at other languages and kind of like identify how they run. Like Ruby does whole open bracket, close bracket, but it's not brackets, it's actually if blah 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 end is the close bracket, I guess, of it. It's weird stuff. I don't like, I don't prefer it because it's just so foreign to me, but yeah, that's just how that works. So yeah, I don't know. You just go have a go at it, see if you can figure it out. I want to get this thing done though. I think that's going to be my goal. Is if I can get this task that I'm working on done, I think I'll call it good for today. Doing like very little incremental stuff. You got a couple of small typos. Just add an extra T to the variable names. Wait, what? What the frick is going on? This thing is not. Gemini, I trusted you. Oh, we like used our limit on Gemini. Oh, that's the sad truth about using AI. You use AI, you kind of just get screwed over as far as how these things go. It works. All right. Mwah. Okay, let's see if this actually did what I wanted to do, because I'm literally just letting this AI go at it and just letting me. It doesn't work. I don't have a. I don't. It doesn't show a thing. What? Huh. Okay, the page. Wait, let's digest a little bit of what this has done. Let me move this to the side. Let's look at our code. Let me yank this down some. All right, so we have rendering the base page. We got the HTML for the navigation bar. We got the navigation to the home, the SQL, the notes pages. We got render base page, which is what's the base page doing? It's just a bunch of CSS. Yeah, that's like the whole style CSS section. We don't need that style CSS section because we have a. Wait, do I not have? Wait a minute. Okay. So okay, let me, or actually wait. Let's read it. Let's read past. I was kind of, I'm jumping the gun. Base page. So we have our whole style, use HTML. So basically we're gonna have the add shortcut module, add new shortcut. It's a header. We don't need the header. Um, form add shortcut. We have label for shortcut, input text name, label for URL, hidden for hidden, else it not, JavaScript to run that. What does JavaScript do? Okay, I don't know if I like how this is. All right, so let's see if we can correct or get AI to see the light of day. All right, okay, so the base page now doesn't seem to render the new shortcut button. Building games. Okay, Stadochans is adding whatever. Building game engines might not be worth it unless you are doing it for learning. Still, good luck with that. Yeah, building a game engine, I don't think it's worth it. Almost 99% of the time. There are some people that have built game engines because they have very unique games that can't even work on whatever game engines there is. So they like basically build their own, like somebody that uses like basically a 4D kind of space kind of thing. So there is like stuff that does do that. But yeah, I got that right. Oh, sorry. Uh, wait, it's not rendering the new shortcut button, right? I don't see no shortcut button, right? No shortcut button. Here's new, yeah, okay, so it's not running a shortcut button. Page now doesn't seem to be running the new shortcut button. Also, I failed to tell you that we already have a static slash style CSS page, and this is it. We're gonna give it our style page. This is basically how I get my like gray Nordic theme kind of style. Let's see what it does. Okay, it's very fail. You are correct. Since you already have linking an external style sheet in line, blah blah blah. This is style page. A new button might have been fighting with you on overriding your existing CSS in unexpected ways. Gotcha. Yeah, I got it. I got it. The most robust is to move the new styles from the inline block to the base page into your static justifiable, blah, blah, blah. So you got the updated styles. I don't want to edit my styles too much unless there's new styles that I don't have in there. Does this contain all my style? I gotta double check this. I don't want this to like override my current styles and break. It does not have all my styles. New styles for my module. Okay. Wait. Yeah. This is where you gotta be careful with AI because you might think this is all you need for styles, but it isn't. We only need, like, this is something you add on to the end. Like, we don't need more for whatever style. So I'm gonna like put this down below with a big divide between them. All our major studios can do that. I still think that you don't need major studios to do a game engine, but you can still, it's still accomplishable. But yeah, update the RS page. We remove the inline CSS, which is good. Makes the base page not freaking long. Like, look how long this thing is. We do not need it to be that long. All right, so we're gonna save that off and let's re-render and see how it goes. All right, they're re-rendered. Go slash blah blah blah. Aha! Look at that. It's not working. Oh, here we are. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, it's down below. That is not floating. Can HTML do floating? I don't know if HTML can do floating. Let's see if this does it though. Let's do a shortcut. What shortcut should we do? Should we do Y? And that shortcut would be just YouTube. Just go/Y as YouTube. Save shortcut. Let's look at our shortcuts file over here. Did that shit save it? It did. Look at that. Works. All right, good job, Gemini. Good job, Gemini. You did your thing. It only does it, or no, wait, it does do it on either the homepage or the go slash like 404 page. It does have it below. Um, I want to get rid of this line. I do like it. We do need a 404 shortcut not found just because we want people to know that they typed it wrong, but I don't need this extra line here. It's very self-explanatory that this is shortcut key to destination. So let's get rid of that quick thing. Just cutting lines out. We don't need things. This is the key about good design. If it is self-explanatory, then you don't need an explanation. If somebody doesn't understand it, then they don't deserve to use it. But there is a line on that sometimes you might be overthinking it and it's not that good. So maybe I'm overthinking sometimes. But we are going to edit it so it's not as good. Have you ever worked on client projects? If yes, then how did you find them? I have not worked on a client project that I found necessarily. Um, like that's just sales though. Like you just gotta have a product that somebody wants or a similar product that somebody wants and just accomplish it. I can't give too many details, but my current job, we work with a lot of developers to develop towards our endpoints, our product, and stuff like that, right? And along that way, I realized that our team didn't have the full know-how to build basically towards our endpoints. Like some of them could have, but they never tried it. So I went and tried it, and basically, like I just like on my own time, like or my free time at work, I went ahead and built towards our own endpoints, like basically doing what our clients would do or our customers. And in that process, I basically built a full app that was what our customers kind of did. And now I'm in the process of like kind of we're actually taking advantage of that as like, oh, this is actually could be a good product not to sell, but to use as a demo for sales or for our sales team. So with that in mind, what I learned from it that relates to what you're saying is when you see a company and they're exposed enough that you can see what they're using, what they're not using, you could probably try to build some kind of product for them, like a demo product, and then or at least offer it, maybe put on just paper, like just make a PowerPoint what you think it could look like. And if you're confident in your skills in building it, you can pursue being like, hey, I have these skills. I see that you guys have this problem or these sets of tools that you could use that you're not using, or this set of uh, automations that you could use in your teams to help your teams be more effective, more efficient. Would you hire me to do this for you as either a contractor or as a full-time employee? That is how you can take that kind of thing and go with it. Now, of course, you kind of need to have a little bit of the inside know-how what those teams are using. So you could almost see if you can contact like I guess companies' HR departments and be like, hey, do you need an automation engineer? And the HR department probably has no clue what you're talking about. So you're just like, does your company need somebody that basically streamlines lots of their processes so that everybody in your company can just work more efficiently? And I can like, can I get an interview with somebody that might know a little bit about this in your company? Like just like see if you can use like leverage HR people to like get in on that kind of stuff where it's like, hey, I just want to talk to somebody that knows this kind of stuff. So maybe they'll put you in with some kind of manager of a dev team and like do that. It's going to take you lots of this is where you got to market yourself. This is networking 101. That's where you just got to go on LinkedIn and just message hundreds of people and just be like, hey, I'm trying to do this. Can I try it or whatever and stuff like that. That's how you do that. I don't have a ton of experience, but that's my understanding of what I would do if I was pursuing that. I personally just like to be a full-time employee developer. So it's just easy to just be like, just apply to being a developer. And then while I'm inside, I just be like, oh, I see stuff. Can I just fix it there? Is it same for B2B collaboration? B2B. B2B. I'm trying to think what that that acronym is. Oops. What is B2B? Or B2B, yeah. Business to business. Oh. Sorry. Sometimes I don't use acronyms too often, so I just like misinterpret some things. Is it the same for business collaboration? Like, my understanding of business to business collaboration is you got to view it from a point that everyone in both businesses is trying to, okay, you got two places. Are the people communicating in a business to business interaction, are they trying to, what kind of thing are they profiting or benefiting from? Because most businesses will not do a interaction unless they think there's some kind of profit to be made or efficiency to be made, which means profit or like more profit or better margins. So it's like you got to think about that, and just like my company does occasionally work with partners, or like some companies work with partners. They bring in partners to run software, figure out how software works, and in that, what they're looking at is like, is it worth it to utilize this person's resource to get more customers on our side, so they're getting customers, but when they get customers and we build some kind of pipeline between the two companies, are we expanding our flow because they're paying a subscription to them and us? So that's profit. And they have skills that we don't have, or they have resources that we don't have. So that's how business to business kind of works. You got to think of like, what's the benefit of the business to the other business? So that's kind of like how interactions work oftentimes, where like if somebody comes to you like, hey, I'm a business, I want to offer this software to your business. Meaning my business pays a subscription to your business, but my business gets efficiency beyond that subscription. So that's where you have to work with that business to be like, I can't, your software is not going to make us better. Like I'm just talking about in a general sense, if you're like trying to just get new softwares for your own business and everything's like oftentimes they have to consider, it's like, my company's not going to benefit from that. So then the other company might counter and be like, well, software's free. When you think about it, in the end, software's free. It's like, it's so super, like, software is free. Internet usage is not. So if the software is just, here's the software, that's free. So it's like, okay, well, since I just want money, like me having some software I'm selling to another company, I can lower it based on what you think is reasonable. So say one company wants to use another company's software, and that company only has 20 employees. So they want like 20 licenses for this software. But the thing is, that software is only going to make them like another, I don't know, like it makes them arbitrarily $1,000 a year. So it's like, why would we pay $1,000 license to make that zero? Because we're making $1,000 more, or in efficiency, we're making $1,000 more, but we're paying $1,000. So that's where it's like, hey, I see that yes, we could probably benefit $1,000 more a year, but you're costing us $1,000. Can we get that down? Because your software is free, because it's literally just give me the software, it works. I'm just paying for a license. So it's like, okay, yeah, how about we do $200? $200 for 20 seats. So it's $10 per seat, or $10 per license. So you just do that, and that's where you work in that kind of stuff. That's kind of how the software world works on that front. There's other places where it's like pay per usage. Be like, hey, we pay like 2 cents per transaction, of like transaction being a download, upload, something like that. And you're just doing that, and you just find value because you don't want to run a $1,000 server, so you're paying the 2 cents. That's how AWS works. You're paying per usage, not per servers. You can do, there's some other plans that do other stuff, but yeah, that's kind of how that all works. I don't know. I'm giving you a lot of information. It's a lot of stuff. I'm curious. So we did do this render button. I want to see if we can make this button. I'm going back to the to our actual task on hand here, what we're doing. Does HTML native support floating window forms. Currently, this new shortcut feature is just appending to the end of the page. That's a good question. The short answer is no. HTML does not have a native standard element called a floating window form, often referred to as a module dialog or pop-up that you can simply configure to stay on top of the page. However, modern HTML does offer a semantic solution for this using the dialog element, which combined with CSS and JavaScript provides the exact behavior you're looking for. All right. Let's go down this pipeline, this little, like, I don't know, rabbit hole. The HTML solution for dialog elements, blah blah blah, has the show module which handles the floating window behavior for you. It makes the dialog box appear centered on the screen. Crucially, it handles the backdrop, the darker semi-transparent overlay that prevents the interaction with the content underneath. This is interesting because I've worked with some frameworks, specifically Reflex. I've built a couple apps now in what's called Reflex. It's basically a Python framework where it's a Python on top, but uses Python to build down a JavaScript framework kind of thing. Framework. I'm just gonna do Reflex framework. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. So I built stuff in this, and I kind of noticed that like this is kind of the same thing where like this has, so like when you look at these kind of frameworks, so this is all Python, you can see it's Python, but when you have a page, you can see how it like builds buttons where like this dot button right here, like so RX is Reflex dot button is building basically a HTML JavaScript button. So that's kind of like how that works a bunch. I am connected with a team of web and desktop developers. We are currently looking for projects. Our team is from Southeast Asia, so we get stuff done in less cost. So what you say? Let's connect. Like I don't have like anything to offer necessarily. Well, I do have stuff to offer, but I don't think it's too beneficial for me. So down to keep hearing more questions or just exchanging ideas, but yeah, above that, I don't really connect with people unless I really have the time to off platform at least. But thanks for the offer. Thanks for off. All right, so how it works? Okay, the original HTML you're using is blah 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 blah. Should ideally be replaced by a dialog. You can use JavaScript method show module in this element instead of manipulating style.display browser blah blah blah. While your current feature appears at the end, your current setup's a standard div with a whatever stuff blah blah blah. Okay, I want to see if we can get this thing to work though, right? Wait, where is our page being rendered nowadays? Are we rendering on our base page still? Or are we rendering not on our base page? No, add shortcut is in our main.rs. Darn it, I want that to be on the base page. That's okay. That's okay. We'll keep it there. I'm gonna do a big refactor at some point, but that's okay. Okay, what changes need to be made to make this happen? I'm going to give it to the main.rs, and then we need the base page.rs. So I'm guessing it's going to want that, or it's going to need that to make it work right. It's kind of interesting. Like building in Rust is like because I'm making this work and I'm kind of seeing how web frameworks oftentimes work. Is web frameworks work in like states, controllers, modules. So basically, states is basically the state of a web app or a web element. So like the state, I'd have a state object for this pop-up window that I want in the web browser. So that pop-up window has its own state, whether that state be on, off, what values are in the state, which then renders to whatever backend. If you want to incorporate some kind of backend, else it'd be static on the front end. Then you have like the controller that which makes those states pop up and do. Sometimes controllers and states can kind of be interchangeably the same. But I can kind of see how I'm starting to form this in Rust almost, where I'm like, wait, I'm going to need a state object. That's why we have app state, but I'm going to need it even more depth because this might need to keep what the floating windows are that we have, like whether our floating windows up or not. So it'd be like a mutable kind of variable that we do. So I don't know, it's kind of just stuff. Okay, what is this telling us to do? We need to update our base page. We'll separate the div with a blah 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 add module with a dialog. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for. All right, so we update the base page, corresponding CSS update, the style of CSS. Update these rules in the static style. All right, so what rules are they? It's going to be dialog. Target the main navigation dialog element. Wait. Oh, native dialog element. Okay. I thought it said navigation. I'm like, I don't want to change my navigation necessarily. So we're trying to change dot module content. This one. You can safely remove the old dot blah 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 rules for this. So we want this. Here, right? Yeah, I think we just get rid of all of this then. This is the added stuff to make it work, I believe. All right, let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. No harm in just pressing the run command. When you can just control Z all of your changes. All right, looks like. Just double checking the warnings are all okay. Okay, yeah, looks like we're rebuilt. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh, okay, never mind. We don't want add shortcut to be on our notes page. We only want it to be on our home and whatever page. Mm-hmm. Okay, this looks good. But I want this button to only be on our 404 and home page. Okay, that's excellent clarification. Blah blah blah. Base page base page modified. Main modified. Oh boy. Is this the entire page? Are we gonna need to do bar navigation, render? Wait. Render base page. Okay. Yeah, let's go with it. Main.rs modified. Existing use statements, use basic, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna like minimize this over here a bit. Wait, where? All right, so this wants to do basic use statements, use base page. We're gonna do that. And then we're gonna do the /get. It's gonna change to this. And then we're gonna change the not found page to. This is the point where you gotta be a little careful with AI, because AI might not quite like the, or it can't hold the context of the conversation, the stuff, enough to actually do your things correctly. So right here is the main difference right here, base page. This is why you gotta look at AI and just be like, where is it doing? We're importing new functions here to then render. Use existing, render the 404. So this is the group shortcuts, render shortcuts, not found. Ooh, yeah, this is it, not found page. So we want this to render here. It's almost 1 a.m. for me. Good talking to you. I'm going to sleep now. Yeah, all right. Take care, man. Nice having you in the live streams. I like your questions. Good questions asked. Good stuff for like anybody to just understand how it all works. Don't want that there. Where I catch all blah blah blah. Get math rest of. All right, let's re-render this, shall we? Re-render's fine. That's nice. Oh, now it's doing 2 buttons. Wait, that button works. This button doesn't. What's going on with this? Trying to see why is it rendering twice? Also, I don't think I need shortcuts to be on the home. Where is it doing the add shortcut twice? Let me see here. Looks like we are rendering the add shortcut 2 times on both pages. This is the main.rs. And then this is, you'll have the not found, found.rs. All right, let's see. Let's see if this can find it. The problem main double button is with the it's structured as navbar, blah blah blah. This logic puts the button inside the main navigation. However, the existing navbar function already includes the structure where the button should go. I mean, the previous button we still in the HTML before this placement. Okay, so the solution in the base page, we change navbar to include a clear placeholder for the button. Wait, what? What kind of change is that? I don't know if I like that. Let's try it. Let's try it, because I might not be understanding what's going on here. But we'll try it. We have the add button page, just stays essentially the same, right? And then what are we doing here? I'm not seeing anything we do in here. I don't get the purpose of this. Optional button. I don't know. Let's go to the main really quick. Let's save this off. Go to main. Let's see. Main.rs. All the statements and helpers functions remain the same. Where's the slash? We got the get. Let full page content equals. Model moved out. Oh, because this button's now in base page. Yeah, I see. I see. So we can delete that. All right, let's copy this over. Not found modified. Wait, what? Oh, I guess we do need to modify the not found page. Not found. Nav with button, nav bar, HTML, replace. What content format not equal or not that. Basically taking away one of these chunks where we're injecting some of the code. Render base page. All right, let's get rid of the unused function here, so we don't use this. Wait, does that mean we don't need this? Save shortcuts? Let's go to the base page really quick. What do we do? We have render add new shortcut. Oh wait, I think this still uses the add shortcut. Because the add shortcut is the actual functionality of adding the shortcut to our files. So we do need to keep that. Did I just type wrong? Am I cap lock? Oh, I am cap lock. Whoops. All right, my thing is functioning. That's it's 3 buttons now. Wait, 1 second, 1 second. Let's delete our cookies really quick. Reload. Wait. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, that's. Wait. What is this? The home page has 3 add shortcut buttons. We fixed this page. This page only has 1. Home page has 3. Notes has nothing. That's good. We got rid of the notes page. But home page has 3. Wait, where's the get the slash? Where's the big this section? Okay, the not found page is fine. Now the home page has 3 buttons. Oh gosh, this is funny. You're right, my apologies. Index. Wait, what is it doing? One second, wife is messaging. Um. Okay, so let me just go through one by one, make sure we're getting everything that we believe should be get gotten. Should we just copy and paste this whole chunk? I'll just copy and paste it. Ah, we're being lazy here. We're lazy butts. That's what we are. All right, there we are, guys. I don't like the look of this. I'm thinking we flip-flop it, but actually make the background black of black. I hate white. I hate white backgrounds, mainly because my eyes are very sensitive. So let me look at this really quick. Add button hover. Can we make this dark themed? Okay. Let me make this dark themed, like the background is pure black. Does it do this on render time? No, it has to compile. Okay. I think I need to delete my cookies again. No? Darn it. Model content. Background is 0. What's the color of the text? I like things to be so dark black. Black as night. I'm gonna like delete all the cookies and everything and then reopen a brand new tab or something like that to make this work, I think, the way I want it. What the frick? Why is it not working? I wonder. Like, this is not used. This is using like a different color scheme than this. Like, this completely is just not used at all. I guess we could probably get rid of it if it's not used, right? Actually thinking through it. Wait, what's going on here? This is themed correctly. That's the add shortcut button. I don't know what's up with these. I don't know. We can live with it. We'll live with it. Gosh, whatever. Either way, we added our add shortcut button. It works, I believe. We will fix the notes page another time and that shortcut page another time. So, in conclusion, guys, just so you can see the final conclusion of some of these things, we are going to, here, let me move this off. We're gonna do our get stuff, get status. We're gonna do get add. We want to add this thing. We want to add. Oh, we don't want to add notes.json. We don't care about that. Oh, look at that. Here, I need to like make this bigger so you guys can see all that's happening. We did change a lot of things. You know, just add the shortcuts. We'll let people see the shortcuts or something like that. Oh, wait, 1 second. Where's the README? I want to edit the README really quick. I don't want this. We did that already. All right, now we can add all these things. Get status again, just see what it's all looking. It's all looking good. We don't care about target. What's target actually? Target's just debugging stuff. Yeah, we don't need to add that. All right, git commit. Dash m. Added. What did we do? What did we do today? What was our backlog? Our backlog for today is we added a adder button to the whatever thing. We did that today. Booyah. We geniuses. Add a shortcut button to the 404 and home page. Added navbar to everything. All right, git push. Alright, there you go, guys. If you guys want to see that code, you want to pull it down, rebuild it yourself, I have some instructions in the README. Hi, doggo. So you guys can have fun with that if you want to use this app for yourself. I use it for myself all the time, so it's super helpful because I don't like bookmarks. Okay, but I'll see you all later. All right. Have a great rest of your Thanksgiving week.